Hey, so I have been wanting to try this recipe for a long time. It's actually my brother Dave's recipe for pumpkin and peanut butter dog biscuits. He's given it to me several times, and this is the first time that I'm trying it. But my dog Sam loves these biscuits when Dave gives them to him, and I know that his dogs love them too. So I figure what better time to try it than for this channel and on a rainy, dreary day, because mostly this is going to involve having your oven on for 2 hours at pretty high heat. But this recipe is definitely achievable. So here I have my trusty low-end stand mixer fitted with a dough hook. And I am mixing together 2/3 cup of water, 1 egg, and 2 rounded tablespoons of peanut butter. We like Skippies, but whatever you use, make sure it does not have xylitol in it. That is toxic to dogs. So make sure you're reading the label carefully of anything that you're making for your dog. Then we're going to add half a can of pure pumpkin. No pumpkin pie seasonings or anything like that in there. Just pure pumpkin. I was also thinking that I might try this with a little bit of banana sometime. Maybe reduce a little bit of the pumpkin mixture in there. That's for another time. I am strictly sticking with Dave's recipe right now. So I'm going to mix that until it is well blended. Doesn't have to be like any special texture. You just want to get that all really well blended together before the next step. All right, so that's looking pretty good. So I'm going to stop the blender. And now I am going to put in 2 cups of white flour. The recipe calls for 2.5. You keep half a cup kind of to the side of the white flour. Turn on the mixer again, kind of blend that in there a little bit, get it going. Just get it kind of mixed up a little bit. When that gets pretty well incorporated, then we're going to stop the blender again. And we are going to add now the 2 cups of whole wheat flour. So remember, we've got a half a cup of white flour that we're going to keep on the side and see if we need to add it or not. So I'm going to go ahead and mix that back up together again on the lowest speed. Now this is supposed to knead for 4 to 5 minutes. I don't know, it's kind of wobbling, we'll see. Yeah, that seemed like it was wobbling a little too much, so I'm going to take the dough out and knead it the rest of the time by hand. I like kneading by hand anyway, so we just need to make sure that this dough gets a good knead for about 4 to 5 minutes total time. So then you're going to form the dough into a round ball, and then you're just going to let it sit for 5 minutes before you roll it out. So this recipe says to roll the dough to a thickness of about 3/8 of an inch. And I don't know about you, but I get intimidated when I see fractions in a recipe because I really struggle with math. But here's my trick. I have this handy tool called a baker's knife or a bench scraper or a dough scraper. It's called a lot of different things. But it has measurements on it. And just so that you know, 3/8 of an inch is just under 1 centimeter. Doesn't have to be precise. Okay, so I rolled this out with a rolling pin. You can also just use your hands and flatten it out. And now I am using this dog bone cookie cutter to make my biscuits. I have to really press down here. This dough is thick, and this cutter is not real sharp. So next time I think I might use something a little bit smaller. The dough is not sticking to the mat, so that's great. And I just need to keep cutting out these cookies and using up all the dough, and then we're ready almost for the next step here. Okay, so I ended up with 26 dog biscuits. These are pretty big biscuits. Put them on ungreased non-stick pans. You can see I used a dark one and a light one. We'll see which cooks faster. And these are going to go in the oven at 350 degrees for 1 hour, and then we're going to flip them over and see what they look like. Okay, so these are looking pretty good. These have been in for 60 minutes. So now I'm going to flip them over and I'm going to put them back in the oven, but I'm reducing the heat to 300 degrees. So 300 degrees for another 60 minutes. So after that 60 minutes went up, I turn the oven off, but I leave the cookies on the pans inside until everything has completely cooled. So that took like another probably couple hours for it to get really totally cool. And this is what they look like. So I think they're a hit, but you know, the final test will come.